Right, checking everything works. Testing, testing, testing. Let me do a quick test. Now, I really hope this immediately is muted still. It is. Let me send a quick test. Test. Oh god, even red's pretty bad in this situation. Oh god, I need to bolden it or something. Okay, well, that test hasn't really worked very well. Instead, what I feel like I can do, I go into filters. I'm gonna up the font size. I'm gonna do it like that. Let me just do a quick check again. Still be kept in because I'm not very good at figuring this stuff out. Yeah, that's better. That's much better. Okay, right. Last time we did Paladin, and Paladin was honestly a bit disappointing. So this time we're going on to Ranger. I've got a bit of experience playing a Ranger. I played one in a relatively long campaign. That I started off pretty badly. I didn't give them enough backstory, and I do feel bad about that still. But over time, it became one of my favorite characters. It's definitely in my top three at this moment. And that wasn't even playing it the quote unquote right way, because I was playing a subclass that specifically is, I think, made more for ranged combat, and I was playing it. Sorry, made more for melee combat, and I was playing it ranged. So let's see. What's interesting about Rangers, it used to be the weakest class. I think now the general consensus is that it's fighter. So we start off with Beastmaster. Ranger's Companion. You gain a beast companion that accompanies you on your adventures and is trained to fight alongside you. Choose a beast that is no larger than medium and has a challenge rating of a quarter or lower. Add your proficiency bonus to the beast's AC, attack rolls and damage, as well as any saving throws and skills it is proficient in. Its hit points are equal to its normal maximum or 4 times your ranger level, whichever is higher. Okay, like any creature, the beast can spend its hit die during a short rest. Okay. The beast obeys your commands the best it can. It takes its turn on your initiative. On your turn, you can verbally command the beast where to move. Makes sense, verbal commands are not, no actions are required. You can use your action, however, to make it take the attack, dash, disengage, or help action. If you don't issue a command, the beast takes the dodge action. Once you have the extra attack feature, you can make one weapon attack yourself when you make the command, when you command the beast to take the attack action. Okay, so it's not as bad when you hit multi-attack because it doesn't also take your second attack. If the creature dies, you can obtain another by spending 5 hours magically bonding with another beast that isn't hostile to you. I think realistically, a lot of the time, your DM's probably going to say that instead of it dying, you spend 8 hours like patching it up, and then you get it again, unless you want it to be this big narrative thing where your creatures died and you spend like a bunch of time trying to find a new companion for yourself. A lot of the time they name them, and you've got a huge bond to them, so you don't want them to actually die when they probably do die because their health is not a huge. I mean, the max your health is going to be is 100 at 20, a level 20. No, it'll be 80 because it's 4 times 10. No, 4 times 20. Yeah, so it'll be 80, which isn't huge. So yeah, you're probably gonna have it at least going unconscious. I think it would be doing death saves, but I feel like they'd be more likely to attack it. Overall, that's a fine ability. Getting yourself an animal companion. You've seen that a couple of times on, to a certain extent, Wildfire Druid and Battlesmith Artificer. Just a general, like, you have a companion, you got to use your action to make it do something other than dodging. Yeah, completely normal. Although I think some of the newer ones will say it takes a bonus action instead. But this one is one of the older ones. What? It's not? Oh, it is. It is. It's just there's a new ability. Sorry, they're adding Tasha's. This is a replacement you can have for a Beastmaster feature. So instead of having an animal companion, you can instead have a primal beast, and they have stat blocks for them. I think generally they are just stronger. So it's, in my opinion, unless there's a very specific reason, the vast majority of the time you are replacing it with this primal companion and you're flavoring it as whatever animal you want. So if you want to see animal, you go sea, land, sky. See this one here, unless you take a bonus action. So it feels just strictly better. In addition, you can also sacrifice one of your attacks to do the attack action. And also it has this added effect of if you're down, it just starts becoming its own creature that can do whatever it wants. And you can get it back on a spell slot. I feel like narratively, again, you'd probably have it where you're expending a spell slot to heal your friend who's unconscious. You can also summon a different one. I feel like you go through the effort of taking this one and flavoring it like just an animal, just because this is just a better feature, and you'd be artificially weakening yourself, which I'm not against, but with Ranger and especially with Beastmaster, you kind of need the bonus to be on level with even just some of the classes that came out at the same time as it. Exceptional training. At 7th level, on any of your turns when your beast companion doesn't attack, you can use your bonus action to command the creature to take the dash, disengage, or help action on its turn. In addition, the beast's attack now counters magical for the purposes of overcoming resistances and immunities to non-magical attacks and damage. Now, I could be completely wrong here, but I think specifically this ability has been, if you take the primal beast version of it, the first part of this ability is not useful. The second part is, so it just gives magical attacks to your beasts, which you do need, because at this point you're starting to get more and more stuff that will have resistance to non-magical attacks. It's a fine ability. Nothing special, but nothing bad. Starting at 11th level, when you command your beast companion to take the attack action, the creature can make 2 attacks. Or it can take the multi-attack action if it had that action. Just a great ability. Now your beast also can do multiple attacks. You get this very interesting situation now where you have extra attack and you've got a beast companion, and if you've gone primal, you can now do attack, bonus action, attack with my beast companion twice. It's pretty decent. Finally, 15th level, when you cast a spell targeting yourself, you can also affect your beast companion with the spell if the beast is within 30 feet of you. Now this is really useful because you can now start doing stuff like casting haste, casting any form of buff, say like a magical weapon or something. I don't know why you'd be casting magical weapon, but it's a possibility. And all of these self cast things that you could have can now affect your ally, which just effectively doubles the effectiveness of it. Your beast companion's always going to be weaker than one of your party members, but you're still going to be getting this little extra bit to every one of your attacks, every one of your self buffs. So, for example, you have haste on yourself. You get an additional attack when you do an attack action. You now have 3 attacks. They also have 3 attacks. You've just gone from having 4 attacks a turn to having 6 attacks a turn. Off the top of my head, I can't think of another one, but for example, if you get access to smites or something, your smite will also attack that does smite will also affect your beast companion. So you have double smite. I'm pretty sure that targets self. Let me have a quick look at the spell book. I'll let it load for a bit because it takes a while to load. I believe because of all the freaking adverts they seem to be adding. You know, while I'm waiting for this to load, I found there was a bloody advert that it was so big that it was appearing like cutting off this bit of the screen. Now I've already cropped it so that you can't see, like, all on this side, on the right side, there's a bunch of adverts. On the top, there's a bunch of adverts, but you kind of expect this one, and you kind of expect the bar down the side. Although that's if you're old like me, that's a relatively new thing. But the ones that come over onto the literal side of where the information is, it's just that's going onto the level of dodgy sites, you know, like pirate sites and stuff. So you got absorb elements. So if somebody's doing a big fireball and it's going to hit both your beasts and you can absorb elements and it affects both of you. Like stuff like that is all of these things are not insignificant. Like you could have this on your, you could have like ensnaring strike and have 2 ensnaring strike options. You know, it's things like that. It's pretty interesting once you look at the spells you get. You don't have the level of self-casting as say a paladin or something, but you have you've got Searing Smite, for example. Imagine with this 15th level ability, when you target yourself, you also target a beast companion. You target both you and your beast with the Searing Strike, and you get 2 Searing Strikes. Admittedly, this one, the one that comes from your beast, will have to come on the following turn. But unless they focus that down, and frankly, you're probably a lot of the time fine with your beast taking the hits, especially if you've gone for the upgraded beast ability, the Primal Companion, where you can just use a spell slot to bring them back after the fight. You're probably fine with your beast taking the hits. And even if they do take the hits, I wonder if this specifies actually. When you cast a spell targeting yourself, so it doesn't necessarily have to be a spell that has to be self-cast. What I mean by that is, you take healing, cure wounds, for example. It's not, its range isn't self, but if you cast that on yourself, you would heal your companion, who's on the ground unconscious. I think that's a very interesting spell. I'm not sure if this is powerful, this subclass. I have a sneaking suspicion that it isn't, but I think with the addition of Primal Companion effectively bringing up to what a lot of summons do nowadays, where if they do use something on your turn, it's normally a bonus action, and it still allows you to do your main abilities. Bringing it up with this ability instantly boosts its power level. It's a shame that exceptional training, I believe now, is is functionally, the first line, or at least the first part of it, is functionally useless because you can do the dash, disengage your help bonus action beast thing already. But I guess it might not be actually, because I think I've been looking at this wrong. I guess no, never mind. I am right the first time around. I was thinking maybe it's like, oh well, it allows them to disengage as a bonus action, but no, you're using your bonus action to give them an action. So at the end of the day, it's still using an action. Overall, I'm pretty happy with Beastmaster. I think it's gone from being so weak that it felt bad to choose it to the level now where it's like, sure, you've not gone for the strongest one, but who cares? At least you're like on the level of everyone else now. Drakewarden. Now, this one I remember coming out because it's relatively recent in the scheme of things. It's fizz bands. This one's quite interesting because I think for a while, I think you're gonna see this with. I think it's just this one actually. For a while, this was just a strictly better Beastmaster, and there's an argument it still is. But let's go through it. So at the start, the bit I'm not reading is this really helpful thing that I quite like them having and stuff. I'm not reading it now, but if I was making a character with that, I would be taking notes from this part. But it's like possible origins you can go for why you got this power. I think it's great. A great little tool to get your sort of juices flowing on. Like, okay, how does my character get this draconic companion? First, third level ability. You share a bond with the Drake. It gives you access to Thaumaturgy, the cantrip, which a generally useful spell. Can do a lot of things. I find it to be generally a useful spell for narratives. So stuff where like you want to get like say an inspirational speech or stop like a blimmin' argument from happening, or you want to make it dramatic for your friends. You flicker the flames and or you want it to sound scary when you're moving, so you're causing tremors when you put your feet down, stuff like that. Unlocking all the doors is always really fun. Um, and you also get to read Draconic, or one other language of your choice. I feel like you're taking Draconic unless you have Draconic. Um, Makes narrative sense. They're little additional abilities that aren't game breaking, but the Thaumaturgy thing will definitely come up, and in the narrative, they'll almost certainly, if you're a Drakekeeper, you're gonna find a dragon at one point, and having this draconic ability to like speak their language, it's gonna be useful.